Guard your power in silence. 5 things a Stoic never shares, Stoic Bloom. What if the things you talk about most freely are the very things that weaken your inner strength? What if oversharing isn't about openness, but a hidden leak in your discipline, draining your clarity, your energy, your influence? And what if the ancient Stoics had already mapped out exactly what a wise person should always keep private? In this video, we'll walk through 5 essential areas of life where silence isn't secrecy, it's strength. And we begin with the most deceptively dangerous, your long-term goals. Part 1, your long-term goals. You're excited. You've made a plan. You finally feel a spark of purpose. And the first thing you want to do, tell someone. But here's what most people don't realize. The moment you speak your goal out loud, your brain gets a reward. You get a premature hit of dopamine, as if you've already done the hard work. And that chemical reward, it kills momentum. The Stoics understood this trap long before neuroscience gave it a name. Epictetus didn't say, tell everyone your plan. He said, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. The more you talk about your big dreams, the more comfortable you feel without actually moving forward. Worse, you open yourself up to unsolicited advice, doubts, projections. Suddenly, your goal is no longer yours. It's under public scrutiny. But when you keep your plans private, something shifts. Your mind stays focused. Your energy stays internal. You begin to move in silence, driven not by applause, but by alignment. This doesn't mean never share anything. It means share only with those who are committed to your clarity, not your collapse. The Stoic doesn't announce his goals. He arrives without warning. Let's make this our first pact. Before you post that ambition, tweet that dream, or rant about your new chapter, pause. Subscribe to Stoic Bloom because we believe in goals that speak for themselves. Share this with someone whose biggest achievements are still in draft mode, right where they belong. Comment below, what's one goal you're going to protect in silence from today forward? Because silence isn't hiding, it's honoring the process. Stoic Bloom. Let results speak, stay quiet, and strike. Part 2, your struggles and weaknesses. There's a modern belief that says vulnerability is strength, but the Stoic would ask, strength for whom and at what cost? We all go through pain, loss, confusion, shame. And yes, there are moments when sharing your struggle brings relief. But the question is, with whom and why now? When you expose your struggles too quickly, too freely, or to the wrong people, you hand over your emotional control. You become dependent on external validation for internal repair. Marcus Aurelius warned, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. When you broadcast your wounds without first tending to them, they remain open, unhealed. And they invite not just comfort, but judgment, gossip, even manipulation. Stoicism doesn't say never speak of pain. It says master it internally before offering it externally. Because real strength isn't in sharing every detail. It's in choosing who gets access to your inner world and when. Your vulnerability is sacred, and sacred things should not be left in the street. So next time you feel the urge to vent, ask yourself, is this healing or habit? And remember, the Stoic bleeds in silence, not because he's cold, but because he's choosing to bleed inward, so that when he speaks, he's whole. Stoic Bloom. Guard your pain, share it only with the wise. Part 2. Your wealth and financial status. We live in an age of flexing. Luxury is no longer a lifestyle, it's content. People post their paychecks, their cars, their crypto gains. But here's the Stoic truth. The more you flaunt your wealth, the more you expose your weakness. Because real wealth isn't just what you have. It's what you can keep private without craving applause. Seneca, a Stoic who was once one of the richest men in Rome, wrote, "Wealth is the slave of a wise man and the master of a fool." When you constantly talk about your money, you don't look powerful, you look insecure, and you signal to the world, "This is the only part of me I think is worth noticing." Beyond pride, there's also risk. People will judge you, envy you, manipulate you. You'll attract friends of convenience, not character. And worst of all, you lose your most priceless asset, peace of mind. The Stoic doesn't measure value by what can be counted, but by what can't be taken. So keep your income, your investments, your status close to your chest. Let your choices reflect your wealth, not your captions. The quieter your riches, the louder your dignity. Let's be honest, if your wallet is louder than your wisdom, it's time for a Stoic realignment. Share this with someone who needs to hear that low-key is the new luxury. Subscribe to Stoic Bloom, where wealth is guarded, not flaunted. Comment below, what's one way you protect your peace over your image? Because true abundance needs no announcement. It just is. Stoic Bloom. Hide your gold, show your grace. Part 4, your relationships and personal life. In a hyper-connected world, privacy is rebellion, and nothing invites more unwanted opinions than your personal life. Who you date, who you break up with, what your partner said, where you went on vacation together. This constant broadcasting turns sacred bonds into public entertainment. The Stoics believe that the deepest parts of your life, your love, your family, your inner circle, are not meant for display. They are meant for protection. Epictetus cautioned, avoid speaking much of yourself, of your actions, and of your relationships. Why, Mom? Because every detail you give away creates a hook in your mind, a place where other people's judgments can grab hold. You begin editing your life not for authenticity, but for applause or approval. When you keep your relationships private, you're not hiding them. You're honoring them. You're shielding them from external energy that could disrupt what you're carefully building within. The modern obsession with overexposing love has a hidden cost. It weakens intimacy. It invites pressure. It breeds ego-driven choices. A Stoic doesn't chase validation through romantic highlight reels. He nurtures something real and quiet, and lets the relationship grow under its own light, not the spotlight. So next time you feel the urge to post, announce, or explain, pause. Because some of the most powerful things in life are the ones that belong only to you, Stoic Bloom. Keep sacred things sacred. Part 5, your acts of kindness. We live in an era where good deeds are often followed by a camera flash. Every donation, every volunteer moment, every gesture of generosity, documented, captioned, shared. But the Stoic doesn't count kindness by how many likes it earns. He counts it by how quietly it changes the world. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, when you do a kindness and expect a reward, you have already been paid. True virtue requires no audience. The moment your kindness seeks recognition, it becomes a transaction, not an offering. You shift from giving to performing, from meaning to metrics. But when you keep your kindness private, when you give because it's right, not because it's seen, you preserve its spiritual value. It strengthens your soul. It aligns you with nature. It makes you a force of quiet good. Let your right hand do good without your left needing to know. That is Stoicism. That is character. That is power. If this video stirred something in you, a reminder that silence isn't absence, but presence with purpose, then don't let it fade. Subscribe to Stoic Bloom. Not for noise, but for nourishment. For the calm discipline that transforms not just how you think, but how you live. Share this message with someone who's been leaking their strength into the crowd, someone who's ready to bring it back home. Leave a comment. Which of the 5 things hit you the hardest? Like this video if you believe that private power is the highest form of strength, because here we don't perform philosophy. We embody it, quietly, fiercely, daily. Stoic bloom. Kindness loses power when it seeks applause.